one more item from chapter 6, the uranography. And so much this text was passing by Galileo Galilei to an astronomer from epoch, from Kardec, named Camille Flammarion, was a French astronomer, and this astronomer wrote various books about astronomy, and he received by intuition the messages from Galileo Galilei in reunion realized in those times, 1850, the year 1850, 55 more or less. This book, I think, is from 1862. In those times, but was not this time this message was received. Before this, then it's clear that this text was not passed by Kardec, because sometimes he said, in your world, how a person out this world. Then this reference was from Galileo Galilei. All this chapter is full of informations from Galileo Galilei. Okay? Then I will read to you Universal Life. Is the next item after those about let me see, eternal succession of worlds. Interesting a lot. Succession of worlds. And see what they will account to us about this universal life. The immortality of souls, of which the system of the physical world is the foundation, has seemed faithful to the eye of certain prejudiced thinkers. Ironically, they have classified it as vagrant immortality and have not understood that it is true only in light of the spectacle of the creation. Nevertheless, it's possible to make all its grandeur understood. I would say even further, nearly all its perfection. That the worlds of God are created for thought and intelligence. That the worlds are dwelling for beings who contemplate term and discover behind their veil the power and wisdom of one who forms them. This issue is no longer in doubt. However, that the souls who populate them are in solidarity in various other worlds. People populate them, then are in solidarity with one another. This is what is important to understand, and not these movies. I agree, I add, not these movies that can say that other intelligence will turn here to destruct. No. How much scientific power have a spirit, his morality will permit much science. And the spirit that develop until some level, his knowledge about intellectual knowledge will pass from a point to have arms that disintegrate all living beings. They don't will get this power. God don't give this power to construct powerful technology capable to destruct a world, the entire world. God don't give this knowledge to a sick mind, to a mind that don't have ethic. It's necessary a spirit have two powers, intellectual, two knowledge, intellectual and moral. Without ethic, God don't let intelligent spirits develop tools to destroy an entire world. See the movie from Superman. What is Superman? It's a history that a planet was attacked by revolters and was destroyed, and the leader of this planet must his son go out of this to survive and encounter a planet similar that his son would be developed. And what make this Superman? Destroy all population? No. They come with an intelligence and power to protect the vulnerable. Okay? Is this? Then imagine people that come from Capella to this world. They come with tools to destruct this planet? No. They come how spirits incarnating here to develop bodies of primitive men, and still we can reincarnate in this world with this face, with this body. This take millions of years. And this spirit was revolted in other planet. These spirits have so much power, intellectual power. But then people in those planets decided, exilated these spirits that don't have ethic, cause contrary this, they would destroy the other planet to command this planet. And people there aprisionated these spirits, bad spirits with high power, intellectual power, and but then incarnated, but then in prison, a spiritual prison, of course. And by command, this population so elevated, ethic and intellectually, these people got put in prison, these revolted, and made him reincarnate in this planet, how man of caverns. See the pictures in cavern. See how a mind not develop so much how a child in this time. A child in this time have so much development than a man of cavern. How this man would design those way, sometimes perfectly, with proportion, head of horses, and bulls. How a mind so primitive would concern those designs is not possible. Is not possible. And the discovering this man, spirit in this man, so primitive, the suffering was so great. And this suffering of the spirits, they only got being these bodies, so aggressive bodies, only 30 years. Not more than this, not more than this. Cause was so much stressed to the spirit are in those bodies. And those spirits destroy too the body cause his mind was make a great effort. Was a great fight they must have in this planet. And those bodies will turn better cause these songs of these spirits, body of the songs, were turning better, and was developed more fast than the time that all the primitive government would make so much faster than a real spirit in those body. And continue the lecture here, that the words of God, indeed, the human mind finds it difficult to consider those radiant globes that sparkle in the space as simple masses of inert, lifeless matter. It also finds it difficult to think that there are, in such distant regions, magnificent twilights and splendorous nights, fertile suns and days filled with light, and valleys and mountains where the multiple productions of nature have unfolded in all their luxurious splendor. It's hard for them to imagine, I would say, that the divine spectacle wherein the soul can retemper itself may be deprived of any existence or any thinking being that could acknowledge it. They said too, ironically, they have classified it vagrant immortality and have not understood that it is true only in light of the spectacle of the creation. Cause the unique thing that maintains in this development of matter, because matter have in other eating last week I read in this information. The matter imagine, is a seed that will develop and give fruits. And after this will death. All this time, all destiny of matter is this. But I said in last life, we are not destructible. The spirit is the only thing that will continue in this tourbillon of the worlds that birth, develop, and death. We, the immortality, represents the immortality created by God. And now we are to immortality. We are different of God, of course. We have birth. God don't have birth. God ever exists. And I will explain this because I don't understand this, but it's this way. We are creatures that have immortality. Nevermore we will death. And will develop until a time that we will arrive in perfection. But not a perfection how God. We ever will have a father. Here in this planet, we have a father. Now know this father or not, all of persons, being living in this planet, have a father. In this planet, we will arrive to be our father. No, not in universe, how immortality persons, we ever will have a father for one eternity. Eternity is this. Then, let me see. One thing is good. Then continue here. That the words of God are created for thought and intelligence. That the words are dwellings for being who contemplate them and discover behind their view the power and wisdom of one who forms them. Indeed, the human mind finds it difficult to consider those radiant globes that sparkle in the expanse as simple masses of inert, lifeless matter. It also finds it difficult to dream that there are, in such distant regions, magnificent twilights and splendorous nights, fertile suns and days filled with lights and valleys and mountains, where the multiple productions of nature have unfolded in all their luxurious splendor. It's hard for them to imagine, I would say, that divine spectacle wherein the soul can retemper itself, maybe deprive it of any existence or any thinking being that could acknowledge it. But to this eminently just idea of creation, it's necessary to add that of the solidarity of humankind, and therein lies the mystery of future eternity. One of the same human family has been created in the universality of worlds, and the ties of a fraternity will still inappreciable by you have been bestowed on these worlds. Fraternity, ties of a fraternity is still inappreciable by you have been bestowed on this world, in this heavenly bodies, which are harmonized in their vast system, are inhabited by intelligent beings. It's not at all by being now to one another, but rather by being marked underbound by the same destiny, and who must meet one another momentarily according to their life functions, and meet again according to their mutual affinities. It's the great family of spirits who populate the celestial lands. It's the great radiance of the divine spirit who embraces the space of the heavens and who remains at the first and final archetype of spiritual perfection. By what odd aberration have we believed we should deny immortality to the vast regions of the ether, containing it within an undimissible boundary and within an absolute duality? Should not a true theory of the world therefore precede true dogmatic doctrine, and should not science precede theology? Will it deviate so much as to establish its basis on metaphysics? The answer is simple and shows us that the new philosophy will sit triumphantly upon the ruins of the old, because its foundation will be victoriously erected upon ancient heroes. We know that this knowledge by Kardec is considered a third revelation. A scientist that organized all this knowledge in a time that religions were so much closed in his power. This book, Kardec was great worry to publish this, because this would make suffer the columns of errors that some power of religions, transforming religions and wanting to manipulate the power upon population. Kardec knew this. His wife was Christian, and he had a religion, and he knows that this knowledge would transform it radically, the spiritual knowledge from those times, and correct the errors. To separate people from the knowledge, real knowledge, and remember that the old Christianity, real Christianity, happened in catacombs where the fire tongue was in disciples that receive and prophesize other souls. And the fate of the most dead in circles of lions attaching these Christians, first Christians, they don't believe to see Christians that in mouth of lions chanting hymns to God. Those happened transformed various there in people with faith, because they saw people that with courage, with happiness, because they believed really that had life after life. They learned this where? In catacombs, with apostles, with those fire tongue. And God, Jesus said, in future, people will try to transform things. In future, the faith will beat. In future, it will necessary reconstruct all this knowledge. Jesus said this. And I go to send to you a consolator. I send to you the spirit of the truth. And the spirit of the truth appear in gospel, assigned. Truth's spirit. And this is this work of this scientist is considered a third revelation by a scientist. Not more, but a religious. This is important. We said about Spiritism that have aspect philosophic, scientific, and religious. The three pillars of the knowledge of the future that we study this now and construct now this knowledge inside us. This is important. We will transform it in a new real Christians. How had this in ancient Christianism, the pure Christianism in catacombs. God give you a great final week full of hope and remembering that our friends in Venezuela are living. They survive. His body, their bodies? No. From more than 2,000 and half of them. But now they are free. The spirit never dead. Only this body was changed. How the matter. But not, we are not matters. God bless all until the next. Until the next. The music of Metallica. I don't know. In drums, yes. Not in keyboard, no. Until the next. Thank you. God bless all. Thank you, your presence.